Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movie and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Can't call it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long week, but looking forward to hopefully another undefeated week. You know what I'm saying? We got one of those do y'all got basically a bye week this week? Your Buckeyes?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah, we got
Pretty
I
much.
don't know
our
if
big game is next week.
yeah, see ours is too because we got Florida. So but
Yeah,
like we got
that school up north.
I don't know if it's either North or South Alabama. I don't even remember which one it is. But so what I'm saying, hopefully we can what I'm saying, beat these boys by like 60. And then go on to Sunday. So
Facts.
but I'm good though, man. Trying to listen, I've been getting my ass whooped. Come on. It's that time of year, man. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
creeping around. So
Yeah.
man, I've been all right though, man. How about yourself? How you feeling?
Man, listen, I'm elated once again, man. I cannot lie. So first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, we do basically have a bye week. We got a 5-5 Minnesota. So that's you know what I'm saying, good little practice run, you know what I'm saying, headed up into this big game. For those that do watch college football, if you know anything, you know that this is one of the biggest games in college football for us next week. So, getting prepared for that. I'm kind of nervous going into the game though. You know what I'm saying? Harbaugh ain't gonna be there. That's gonna get him some, you know what I'm saying, some extra juice. And then on top of that, we lost the last two. So kind of nervous about that. But you know what I'm saying? The defense been playing great. Marvin Harrison Jr. been going crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? I think we got a good chance of beating them. It's just I don't know how that Harbaugh suspension gonna play out. But you know what I'm saying? I'm also excited because you know what I'm saying, I finally got the email from Amazon. So I did for everybody that listen to this, you know what I'm saying, y'all know I do DoorDash. Amazon got their own gig platform called Amazon Flex. So they sent me the email to sign up and everything like that. So hopefully by not next week, but the week after, you know what I'm saying, I'll be doing Amazon Flex. So I'll be kind of doing what you doing out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying, delivering them packages. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Going door to door, you know what I'm saying? Dropping off boxes and bags, man. So I'm excited about it. Can't wait to do it. Hopefully they, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and get me in there. So
Okay.
that's pretty much about it, bro.
Man, good luck on that, man.
I
Like I
appreciate
said,
it, man.
I don't see why you shouldn't be able to, but hopefully
Yeah,
you get the results that you're looking for.
yeah, man. I appreciate it. It's just an iffy thing because a lot of so for right now, I got 3 total gigs. I got Uber Eats, I got Instacart, and I got DoorDash. So I'm trying to get Amazon Flex. So if I could have 4 under my belt, I feel really good. So you know what I'm saying, if something slow down in one area, I could kind of hop over to the next one, and you know what I'm saying, make sure I keep a solid income coming in. But if this Amazon thing pans out, I got a pretty good idea of how I'm gonna play things out, especially with the holidays coming. So I think it'll work out pretty good. I'm just sitting here waiting, man, for real, for real.
That's what's up. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you gotta be a little patient out here in these streets.
Absolutely. That's the best thing to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to this episode, I'm sorry, if you're new to this show, this is one of our favorite segments, probably the favorite segment. This is where we give you guys extra things to take a chance at, take a look at, you know what I'm saying? pretty much some stuff that we view outside of the stuff that we view for the episode. This is what we like to call our trailer section of the show. This is the I better say coming soon because I looked at the dang on button. This is the what we watching segment of the show. You ready, bro?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
What we watching?
All right, man. So what do you have for us this week, bro?
All right, man. So, like I was telling you, man, I've been on my Netflix bag heavy, and so I got 2 Netflix joints for you. And the first one is so it is directed by Mike Flanagan. And if y'all know anything about Mike Flanagan, if y'all seen the show the Hunt, wait a minute, The Hunting at Hill House, The Hunting of Bly Manor, you know what I'm saying? One of the shows that we did on this podcast, Midnight Mass. We did Midnight Mass on here. And also, I didn't know Gerald's Game had anything to do with this whole little thing, but apparently,
Oh, really?
the movie, yes, same actors. I didn't even get it. But so he got this whole thing going on. It's really the same thing as what's going on with American Horror Story, where they have the same actors, but they just have different roles, and they just come in. Sometimes they could be the main character in one, and then the next one they could be a side character. But so Mike Flanagan got this whole thing going on with Netflix, and this time he has The Fall of the House of Usher.
Nah,
And
yeah.
so I've been watching that, man. I'm probably like 5 episodes in right now,
Mhm.
and it's pretty dope, man. I like what they did with it, with this whole what's her name, Carla something. She's like the bad guy, and like she kind of reminds me of like kind of like the Reaper. Like she
Okay.
goes into every situation, but she's a different person within the thing. It's like in one murder, like she's a security guard, but she's also like a what do you call those things? Like a gorilla joint. It's really weird. It's like you see
Like a
her, but well, kind of, because like I say, she's different for every character that she's about to kill. She's something different, or she like
okay.
yeah. It's like you like we see, and I think they see like us as the viewer, and them we see like her as the pretty lady that she is, but
Yeah.
she's actually something else. Like she's
Okay.
like another entity.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
yeah. So like it's really, really dope, man. I like what I'm seeing out of this. And I like what he's doing. Like I think stuff like that is really cool. I haven't really seen like in movies, we kind of seen it with, the name of them, like, they call them like the new Rat Pack or whatever. We got Jonah Hill,
Yeah.
James Franco,
Jonah
like no,
Hill,
those
Bradley Cooper, Seth Rogen, Franco, James Franco, Ed,
Jason Segel.
yep, Jason Segel, Ed, Ed Helms, all them, yeah.
Yeah. So like I think this is pretty cool. Now, granted, I don't think it's an issue with it, but it's kind of like directors do this shit all the time. Like, I mean, how many times Martin Scorsese is gonna use Robert De Niro? You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's something that we see all the time.
Like,
Yes, sir. So, that's one that I got. The other one, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but it's a documentary on Netflix called Slide, and I learned a lot about Sylvester Stallone. Things that I did not know about him. I think that for someone, all I'm gonna say is for someone to be able to, start small little roles here and there, and he notices that he getting turned down for roles because the way he looked, the way he talks, and all of this stuff. So my man literally created his own path. Was like, well, y'all not gonna give me a role. Well, I'm gonna write my own, and created Rocky and turned Rocky into what he has it into today. And it really was because he just really couldn't get a role in Hollywood anymore.
Right.
You don't hear nothing like this. Like, this is insane.
Absolutely.
Like, he literally created his own path. Like, okay, y'all don't want to give me a movie? Bet I write my own.
Yeah.
And wrote his own and turned it into something that we just got a movie. What 3 years ago when the Creed 3 come out? Like,
shit, it was this year.
damn, it was this year. Damn,
Yeah.
it was like January, February. You're right. So this shit is still continuing. So it's like, based off a character that he created. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man, Sly was a really good doc, man. So I always get the title messed up. I got The Fall of the House of Usher, and I got Sly, both on Netflix.
Cool. So that's what's up, man. So I went the Hulu route this time.
Okay.
So the first one I got to is Kennedy. It is a documentary on the assassination of John F. Kennedy, of course. And I think it's about 3 episodes, and they basically break down his entrance into Dallas, because I think it was at Dallas, either Dallas or the Dallas Fort Worth area. I forgot which one it
No,
was.
it was Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, cool. So it's his entry into Dallas. It's the actual parade that happens, and then it's the aftermath of everything that happens. And so what they do is they pretty much break down this, about maybe like an hour and some change each episode, and they break down everything from beginning to end. And they talk about the conspiracy theories. They talk about what could have happened. And what's interesting about this doc, and the reason I really dove into it once I seen the first episode, is that it comes from the last living witnesses of the actual incident. So it's not necessarily people doing research. These are people that were actually there, that was living and had some, so it's like Secret Service is people that were in the crowd during the actual parade that was going on. It's a police officer, I believe. I think he was like a rookie police officer at the time. And then it's somebody that was a child at the time too. So all of this is from their point of view, and they're basically recapping everything that happened in that moment of the assassination. And they break it down, they talk about stuff, they give you some information that had pretty much had just recently had been released, since all of the documents from the FBI, CIA, and all the other departments have been declassified and decrypted and redacted and all that different stuff. They just giving out some extra information on the whole assassination. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check that out, especially if you like me and you into history and stuff like that. This is a great doc to watch. And then my second one, is a show that is on FX, and it's called A Murder at the End of the World, and is a very, very interesting show because it's about a girl who is like um she's like the Sherlock Holmes of the world at this time, like a master sleuth. And she gets invited to this billionaire's house to basically um break down like this whole situation that's going on at the time. Um so for right now I'm only in episode 2, but like the first episode is how can I put this? It is okay, it's a masterpiece. I'll say that because it gives you her background. It gives you pretty much everything you need to know as far as storytelling, as far as writing and everything else. It tells you everything you need to know about the character in the beginning. And then as you go along, it kind of breaks down everybody else in like, the proper manner. So you don't it's one of those shows where as you're watching it, especially if you're paying attention and you into it, you're not going to get lost at all. So both of mine are on Hulu. The first one is a documentary called Kennedy. The second one is A Murder at the End of the World. Make sure you check those out.
Bad.
All right. So now it's time to get to it, man. Feature presentation time. Um Today we are doing a double feature. If you see it on the title of the pod, you already know what we're covering. We're covering Friday and next Friday. If this just popped up in your algorithms, first and foremost, I want to say you're welcome because this is probably going to be our most hilarious podcast. And if you did pop up on your algorithms, hit that follow button, and later on hit that subscribe button. So first and foremost, let's start it off with this. We're gonna start off with the first one, Friday. Um, we're not gonna get into the usual thing. Usually we break down the movies and all that, so on and so forth. I don't want to do that this time. This time, what I want to do is I want to have conversations around each movie. And you know what I'm saying? If we have to, we could bring in certain parts of the movie and that type of thing. But what I really want to do is first and foremost break down Friday, right?
Okay.
The impact that Friday had on not just our culture, but the film culture in general. Because from everything that we know of, Friday was pretty much like an independent film. And this is Ice Cube's exit from the rap game, right? This is an Ice Cube film. Um, I believe he had like his own. He ended up coming up with his own production company, Cube Vision or something like that. And I forget which company he ended up working with to put this out. I want to say it was
It was New Line Cinema.
New Line Cinema. Thank you. I about to say Miramax, but you're right, New Line Cinema. So he partners with New Line Cinema to put this movie out, and the movie Friday is pretty much exactly what you think it is. It's pretty much a day about. I'm sorry, a movie about a Friday that ends up turning into a wild weekend. Um, so what I gotta ask you is this: knowing everything you know about Friday, knowing everything you know about Ice Cube, everybody else in the cast, so on and so forth. How much of an impact did this movie have on you, and what did that impact do as far as the movies you've watched that has been similar to it going forward?
Good question. Good question. I think this movie had a huge impact on really everything, and I think that with Friday hitting the way that it hit, with the budget that it had and the amount of stars that it had, people that they didn't even know were stars yet. Like people didn't really know Chris Tucker was a star yet.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like now we seen him in a movie with Dead Presidents, but you know it was really about Lorenz Tate. You know what I mean? Like
he had like a co-starring role.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like, but then I think that what we saw with Ice Cube was something that you bring up a lot is him being beside a flat out comedian. But even still, he's just that kind of like Vince Vaughn character where he's not trying to be funny, but the shit come off funny. So he's just have that different kind of funny, and like this is when you really get to realize like how talented Ice Cube is, because if you look at Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood, it's not funny. You know what I mean? But he's really from the interpretation that we have of him from seeing him in NWA, then it's kind of like, okay, he's really playing himself in a way.
Yeah.
So, but seeing him in Friday, it's like, oh shit. Like, to me, I felt like we got like a different vision of Cube.
I agree.
And the cultural impact of not just what people was able to come out of this movie, but just more of like how relatable it was. Like, we all had a crackhead in our hood that, you know what I'm saying, we knew he wasn't gonna harm nobody or she wasn't gonna harm nobody. We just know they wanted a little change. They saw something, they were gonna steal it. They was gonna, you know what I'm saying, offer to wash your car. Like, it seemed like no matter where you live, like, there's that crackhead that's like that. And then it's like, when it comes to Debo, it's just like Debo turned into a term. It's you know what I'm saying? It's like a verb now.
Yeah.
You know? And
hell, it's a nigga in the NFL named Debo.
yeah, and that's why. Like, you know what I'm saying? Debo's, I think people don't even know. And by the way, fun fact, do you know what his name actually is?
I have no idea. I never knew his first name.
Okay. His name is
Wait, let me guess.
first-
Let me guess.
Okay.
Is
All
it what give me the letter it starts with?
starts with a T.
Tavares.
No. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna tell you his middle name first, because he got a cool ass name. Like, just his parents, you can tell they just, all right. So his middle name is Raekwon.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
Exactly.
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
But dude, you're never gonna guess what his first name is.
Thomas.
No. His
Tristan.
name, no. You're never gonna get, because you way off. You ain't nowhere near it.
Hold on, wait. Is it a ghetto name?
No, it's not a ghetto name.
Okay.
Not a ghetto name. His name, no. But when I say it, I gotta say something right after, so you gotta let me finish. His name is Tyshawn, but his Shun is spelled just like mine.
That's crazy.
That is, I did not know until
Look, that is a hood name for sure. Where's he from?
He's from Inman, dude, where my mom stayed.
So he's from South Carolina.
Yes. He went to Chapman High School, dude. Chapman High School is literally, well,
Samuel. That is a wild ass name for sure. That's a hood name, 100%.
I mean, I guess because I just don't. I mean, if you put the top, I don't know. But anyway, so Chapman,
your name makes sense. I'm saying his name to Sean Raekwon. That's I salute him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But no, like, so the old Chapman High School is probably like 8 minutes from my mom's house, but they built the new school, which is further deeper in the Inman or whatever. But like, yeah, like my nephew now, this is what he told me, but the timelines match up. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he had no reason to lie, but he was on the Chapman football team when Debo was there. But he, got into we talked about him. He got into all his shit. But he was there when he was there. And they're the same age. So, but
I played on the same football team as Norris Cole in middle school.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we we be beside greatness sometimes.
Yeah,
like
he went on to win 2 NBA championships.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, I was on the same field as Sidney Rice. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Played them and everything. So, but like, even the shoes, my guy, like the shoes that Debo got on in this movie, they sell them at Dollar General. We don't call them. I don't know what those shoes are called, but you know what I call them? I call them Debo's. Like, that's just like this movie. Like, there's so many terms like in this movie that we just take with just regular life.
Yeah.
and it's just like you got knocked the fuck out. Like, come on,
Oh,
man.
fact.
You know what I mean? There's so many quotables in this movie where if you really watch cinema like that, you see where some people kind of, you know what I'm saying, copy some of the shit that happened in this movie. So this was really one of its first of its kind. And then when you're talking about an independent film, like this gotta be, up there as one of the greatest.
Yeah.
So throwing that question back to you,
Okay.
how do you feel about it?
So first and foremost, what you said was spot on, right? This movie took the culture by storm, first and foremost, because everybody could relate to it. Everybody had either a family member, friend, cousin, something in this movie, right? Or we all just grew up just like this movie. So we all grew up with a friend who always was on some bullshit, like Smokey. Or we always grew up with a friend who, you know what I'm saying, like ended up in some shit like Craig. Or like you said, we all knew the crackhead in the neighborhood. For me, mine was Bird. Everybody knew Bird. Bird was a crackhead in our neighborhood. Um, or you know what I'm saying, you knew the real fine girl in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Or everybody knew the bully in the neighborhood. Everybody knew, you know what I'm saying, the red version, who was the nigga who you could punk in the neighborhood. Like everybody, or for instance, everybody knew the badass kids in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, who
Yep.
they caught and whooped at, you know what I'm saying? It's
You know what
like
I'm saying? Little
so
Chris.
e- everybody knew the dope boys in the neighborhood, so on and so forth. So like we all had this connection, even though what I thought was beautiful was this really was his version of Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I really had to, when I really went back and watched this, I had to think about it like, damn, this is really his version of Boys in the Hood, except for he made it a comedy instead of, you know what I'm saying, a drama. And
Yeah.
so we've all, even though this is just so in our culture, we have compartments just like every other culture, right? We compartmentalize everything like everybody else does. So for us, we have East Coast, we have West Coast, we have Midwest, we have South. And even within those, they're compartmentalized. But this was his version of a regular weekend. Even though it's called Friday, it's supposed to be about this particular day. I think that's what a lot of people think. It's really about this day that sets off this whole chain of events during the weekend. And so, yeah, like even though, you see these events happening in this West Coast neighborhood, a lot of people can relate to, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in it, because these are usually the things that happens in our neighborhoods. Um, but I think the most interesting part of all this is the fact that, like you mentioned, when he played Doughboy, he was in this very dramatic role, very serious role. And I think what he did was he learned from John Singleton, and he took that and said, instead of showing everybody the, you know what I'm saying, like the risk and reward of the hood, I'm going to show you the best parts of the hood. All right, right. I'm going to show you what we think is funny. I'm going to show you what we think is, you know, what makes us laugh, and, you know what I'm saying, the things that we appreciate about it. And so I find it interesting that on one end he has a movie that shows you the risk and reward, and then on the other end he shows you our appreciation, you know what I'm saying, for the neighborhoods we grow up in. Um the impact of this movie though, like, this is the first time, first and foremost, we get to see Ice Cube, who is, like you said, coming from NWA, coming from a solo career with Ruthless Records and doing all these things, having, you know what I'm saying, a interview where he has the Nation of, well, not the Nation of Islam, the Fruit of Islam behind him and all these other things. And then we see him in this new movie where, you know what I'm saying, he brings on Chris Tucker, he brings on Nia Long, he brings on Tiny Lister, he brings on AJ Johnson, Gary F. Gray had a role in this movie. Paula Jai Parker is in this movie. Bernie Mac is in this movie. Tony,
Faison,
oh man, I forgot his name. The little person, Tony, I forgot his name, but he's in this movie.
Tony Cox.
Yep, Tony Cox is in this movie. John Witherspoon, Regina King, the mom, I forgot what her name is, but she played D in the Wayans
And
Brothers
Maria
show.
Horsford.
Yep. So Emery Horsford. So he literally has this cast that goes on to do amazing things. You know what I'm saying? John Witherspoon, of course, you don't want to count him because he's already done what he's done. He's already solidified. Bernie Mac, even though he's kind of on his way, he's not there yet. So yeah, but Chris Tucker, like Nia Long, you've seen her in some things, but you ain't seen her, you know what I'm saying, be spotlighted like this. And I think this was the movie that kind of got Nia Long in that. When we talk about those 90s baddies, this is the movie that kind of solidified her in that, right? So you see this cast of people who eventually goes on to be the elite of Black Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say get they start, but when I tell you like some of the most memorable roles are from this movie, like Tiny Lister is somebody who was a wrestler. I believe he was like a bodyguard at one point in time. He did a bunch of different things, but like this is his most important role. This is the role that everybody knows him by. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see him, you don't call him Tiny Lister, you call him Debo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? AJ Johnson for the longest was Ezel. You know what I'm saying? For Chris Tucker, if he didn't go on to do other movies, he'd have been known as Smokey. You know what I'm saying? Paula Jai Parker, she literally plays this same role in every damn role she does from here on out. You know what I'm saying? So he helped to create like a staple within Black Hollywood. But what I really enjoy is the fact that not only does he do this for Black Hollywood, but he does this for Hollywood in general. Because later on down the line, after this movie comes out, everybody appreciates what this movie is. And so much so to where I'll be at work one day and one of my white friends who listens to country music and he wears cowboy boots, and me and him are sitting there talking about how funny this movie Friday is. Somebody who I would never think will watch this is somebody who has watched this movie, loves this movie. They talk about this movie all the time. And I'm sitting here like, how the hell do you know about Friday? But this is a movie that he loves. So this eventually becomes a movie that is not just a cult classic, but it becomes just a classic in general.
But then one thing before we get into the funny is this is the launch of F. Gary Gray's movie career as a director.
Absolutely.
Because he was only a video director at this point.
Yep.
So now Ice Cube worked with him in a few videos that he did or whatever. But I mean, obviously he done mad videos, you know what I'm saying, that was very successful. But to take a dude who's really, you know what I'm saying, itching for that spot, you know what I'm saying, all he needed was an opportunity, and Ice Cube gave him that opportunity, and look what he did with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tend to mention him because as great as, you know what I'm saying, the top guys are, I feel like he's one of those top guys, but he just always get overlooked. So I kind of overcompensate a little bit. I don't give a shit about that. I think F. Gary Gray.
To me, I feel like you don't overcompensate. I think you just giving flowers where flowers are due. Like if you really look at if you look at F. Gary Gray's career, right, and you look at the movies that he's done, yo, he's up there. Like
He
John
really is.
Singleton, he's up there. Like Spike Lee, he's up there. These guys have created not just cult classics or cultural classics, but just classics in general, man. Like they really came up with movies that really have done. Like F. Gary Gray did a fucking Fast and Furious, maybe more than one. I don't know how many he's done. First and foremost, don't let me get the lion, but
He
I know he's
did.
done at least
He
one.
did. He did do. Well, no, that's the video. He did. The Fate of the Fury.
Okay, so
He did one of them.
yeah, okay, so yeah, I know he's done at least one, but to know that as long as this franchise has been going and as big as that franchise has been, for him to have done one of those movies lets you know the type of caliber he is as a director, producer, etc. It lets you know what I'm saying, like where this guy is from and what he's about.
But this the thing though, dude. His first three movies. But
Hmm.
listen to this. Friday,
Hmm.
Set It Off, The Negotiator. Come on, man. You know I got The Negotiator in my
Yo,
top three
what,
movies of all time.
what's even crazier though, and you're right, because what's even crazier is the fact that he went from Friday to Set It Off to a movie like The Negotiator. Do you know how big that is to do a movie like that though, with that type of cast, with those type of actors and actresses? You know what I'm saying? With that type of backing, bro, that's not something you get in your third try at a movie, my guy.
That's what I'm saying. And now, don't get me wrong. There's tons of videos. And that's the thing. He never left that world.
Absolutely.
He never left that world. Like I don't. So he does Friday in '95.
Yep.
You know this. This is what happens. TLC Waterfalls.
Yep.
Waterfalls is probably one of the most memorable
Yeah,
videos of all time.
absolutely.
Then the
Especially
next
when
one,
they changed into the water, when they came out from the water and shit, that shit was fire.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So he
yeah.
does Waterfalls in '95. Dr. Dre keep the heads ringing in '95.
For the
John
Friday
B.
soundtrack, by the way.
Huh?
That was for the Friday soundtrack too.
Yep. John B. Pretty Girl. TLC Digging on You.
Yep.
TLC Crazy
Big,
Video Cool. Brandy.
big.
Yep, Brandy featuring Tamia, Gladys Knight, and Shaka Khan, Missing You. And you know, Missing You is for Set
Set
It
it off.
Off.
Yep,
Come on, man.
yep.
Y'all need to
The
stop playing with
the
this man.
perfect person to have.
That's what I'm saying. So for Ice Cube to launch, now I think he would have got there eventually, but we ain't seeing that like the success didn't help
Right.
and the success of Friday. So I think that Friday is bigger than I think people really understand. Like we know how funny it is.
Mhm.
We know what it means to the culture and all this type stuff. But the people careers that it launched and it took them, because like after this, like Chris Tucker, he gets an executive, you know what I'm saying, a producer tag with Money Talks. I don't
Yep.
think he would have got that shit without Friday, with the
No,
success of Friday.
he don't go on to do um the joints with Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
Without
yeah, the Rush Hour joint.
yeah.
Yeah, so like nah man, yeah, this movie it means so much, man. And it's bigger, and I know the stories that are coming out, you know, the money, which when you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, this was one of those situations where if this movie works,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, you only got 5,000 or you only got 10,000, you know,
But
Faison Love was like,
okay, cool. And see, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing, right? Because I totally forgot about Faison Love when I talked about the cast. Sorry. Salute to Faison Love. But this is the thing. At the time, bro, at the time when this comes out, they not expecting this movie to even probably be lit. They probably thinking this won't get greenlit. This probably won't even get a good look. None of that. So when they put this together, I can only imagine what the budget is.
yeah, it
Right?
wasn't a lot. I remember Faison Love saying that he got 1,500. And it's like, okay, And I hear you, and I know you're thinking. That's
Maybe
what I'm
4 or 5
saying.
minutes.
He had
Yeah.
2 scenes, and he was on the phone once. Well, maybe he was on the phone twice. I think he was on the phone twice. 2 phone calls where they don't show you, and you showed up in your car, and you showed up in the ice cream truck.
Well, this is why I say 5 minutes, because you're right. The 2 phone call scenes. Then he has 2 scenes where he pulls up on Smokey, and he got the initial scene where we see him in the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Oh, how can I forget? Megan Good is also in there, asking for the chili cheese Fritos. And
no, she didn't ask for the fat kid asked for the chili cheese Fritos. She was just saying she hate him.
Yeah, and then the one dude, oh my god, what is his name?
What, Dub C?
No.
Ronaldo Ray?
No, it's a light-skinned dude. He was in Cousin Skeeter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, hold on. Go ahead and talk. I'm about to find this dude's name, bro.
But I just feel like the budget obviously was not high for this movie. Right. And people didn't get paid a lot of money for it, but this is so this budget was $3.5 million. Okay, and it grows worldwide 28.2.
Real quick, I'm sorry. His name was Robert Richard.
Okay.
He was in he played in Cousin Skeeter, and he played in the show with Flex Alexander and old girl when they was he was her dad or some stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the show. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah. But yeah, so he went on to do a lot too. But Robert Richard was also in Friday as well.
Yeah, and then they, if I'm not mistaken, I think they shot this movie in 2 weeks.
Probably, yeah.
So it's like, okay, but I think that this was one of those situations where it's like, yo, if this thing hit, it ain't about the money. It's the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And what it did was it opened up so many doors to a lot of people to where I don't think some people would be what they are without this movie. So yeah, I remember John Witherspoon and Chris Tucker talk about it, because I think Chris Tucker was like, yeah, like, okay, I only got like 5 or 10 grand for this movie or whatever. But he was like, but I wouldn't have been able to do Money Talks, Rush Hour, and all this stuff if it wasn't for Friday. And he was like, this movie wasn't about the money. This movie was about the exposure. So that's what this movie did. This movie gave a lot of people exposure, but then at the same time, it's like these hidden gems where people are taking like this format of like, yo, let's just take, you know what I'm saying, film a movie where it's about a day. Like the locations of this movie, dude, they at Craig house. They go to Smokey's house for a minute. They go to the store. They go to Debbie's house.
And then they back at Craig's house.
That's it.
But listen, this is the crazy thing. This movie is not about one day. This movie is about the weekend.
It was one day. No, it was one day.
It was not.
Think about it, dude. Think about it. It was one day. They woke up. Craig woke up to the old lady at the door, right? Smokey come over, told me he got fired.
Yep.
Right? So then it's the whole little shit, Craig. Oh, and we'll get there. But like, dude, Craig put on the one outfit. They wore one outfit, dude. It was one day.
Damn, now, you know what? You're right. I don't know.
It's only one scene that has a different day in it. That's when Smokey was in the pigeon coop.
That's what had me messed up there. Because for some odd reason, and I think this is where I always got it messed up. Okay, so when they meet, when Smokey meet old girl, right? The
fat girl.
Freddie Jackson.
Freddie Jackson, yes.
Yeah. That's the same night he robbed Debo and them, right?
Well, tried to, yes.
Yeah.
He was trying to steal the money that they stole from Stanley.
For some odd reason, I get that mixed up and thinking it's 2 different days. But you're right. So this is literally about Friday. For some odd ass reason, I always was thinking that this was just. So this was my interpretation of this movie. This movie was. It wasn't about one day. It was the day that started everything that happened that weekend. But I keep forgetting it's literally about that Friday. So you're right.
Yeah. So it was literally only one day. But but the shit that always tripped me out. See, my type of the comedy that I like, you know what I'm saying? It be the small shit, which they do it a lot more in next Friday. But
Mhm.
like little shit, like you know what I'm saying? Craig wakes up, confront a knock at the doors, the old ladies. Are you ready for the return of Jehovah? Because if you not, and he slammed the door in the face,
You ain't
that ain't
ready.
what get me. Now
Nah,
that's
but
funny, but
she
this is the part.
no. She comes to she say, "Good morning, brother." He said, "Good morning." He said, "Are you ready for Jehovah's return? Because if you not," he started doing her face. She said, "Have dead motherfucker. Come on,
Come
sister.
on, sister.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how funny that line is, bro. That line is so funny, bro. Like, so like I said, you know what I'm saying, we be playing 2K and everything, right?
Yeah.
When somebody get dunked on, that's what I use when somebody get dunked on. I be like, "Are you ready for Jehovah's return?" Because that's my reply when people get dunked on in the game. But that's how deep that movie goes, bro.
Dude, see, this is what gets me. It's when Craig slammed the door in her face and go to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to the kitchen and he sees Captain Crunch up there. And
Oh.
he's like, yep. And then he grabbed it and he put the whole thing in there. He's like, and then he forget the spoon. He's like, uh-oh.
No, ain't no damn milk.
Yo, he poured that shit and then he looked in it and it's so bad.
Bro,
Yo,
she said, "Put some water in it." Then this is how great this movie is, because his mom says, "Put some water in it," right?
mm-hmm.
Then here comes John Witherspoon.
Well,
Son,
the dad was first. But
no,
anyway,
no,
go ahead.
no, 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 it
Yes,
wasn't.
yes, it
Because his mom
was.
said, was that
Think
first?
about it. Think about it.
No, you're right.
So
You're
when
right. John Witherspoon was first. Son, how come every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the
kitchen,
kitchen?
you in the kitchen.
Every time I want some pig feet, you want some big feet. Every time I want some, every time I want some collard greens, you want some collard greens. I like pig feet. I like collard greens. And then he was like, "Daddy, ain't no milk. You better put some water in that shit." You
That
right.
damn
Yep.
shit.
You right.
Yeah.
And then he
Yep.
be like, then when he see his mom, she in there cooking eggs and steak, he be like, "Mom, what you making? Steak and eggs?" Oh yeah, no. This what say this for your daddy?
No, she
Oh
said this. She said this. He's like, what mine at? She was like, I ain't make you none. She was like, this is for me. And she was like, have
yeah,
some
this for
cereal.
me.
He was like, we ain't got no
Ain't
milk.
no milk. Put
Put some
some
water
water
in
on
it. It won't hurt.
it. Classic, bro. This that's why I say, bro. Like, this movie is so amazing because, like, first and foremost, the for them to be able to use that running joke, right, to put some water on it, and just that quick in them two different scenes, for them to be able to do that. What we don't realize, I think, is the genius of everybody in this cast. And I think this is a big part of the reason that a lot of those people that was talking about the money and everything, because if you really realize, the people that's talking about the money is really the one, like the comedians that's talking about the money, right?
Mhm.
I think if we really realized how much input they had in this movie, because it couldn't have just been them coming to act, it had to really be them giving their input and them helping the writers, or them just freestyling for the most part, right? Because a lot of this movie is very, very comedian based, and I don't mean just comedian based as far as acting comedian. I mean like stand-up comedian, right? Like,
Mhm.
when they in the car, and him and John Witherspoon talking, and he like, "Oh no, never mind, wrong part. I'm tripping." when they in the room and he like, Daddy, you know what I'm saying? What happened to you? It was son. I was outside and reached up the mail and I look up and a dog got me. He said, I looked up,
No, no, no,
dog,
no,
give
no,
me
no,
that.
no, 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 no. You
Go
gotta
ahead,
do
go
it
ahead.
right. He said, well, what it was, Craig and Day Day was sitting in the living room, and he walked in. No, no, hold on, wait a minute. I know what you're talking about, but
Craig and Smokey.
Craig Smoke was sitting in there, and he walked in the door. He was like, "Oh, got bit in the ass today, son. My
Yeah,
spanking ass filthy dog. You should have
yeah.
seen. Biggest dog I've ever seen in my life." He said, "I go to turn around." I said, "Please don't bite me, dog." I go turn around. I go to jump the fence. That dog grabbed my ass. He was like, "I told you. I told you. I told you." He said, "You ain't tell me shit. Go out there on that front porch without that noise."
Hey, that nigga Smokey said, I hope your ass okay.
He said, "I ain't ass feel, Mr. Jones." He said, "Man, get out of here and don't slam a damn door."
Hey, bro. Classic. So,
Hey man,
even just that moment, there's no way somebody wrote that, bro. They had to let John Witherspoon go off on that. Even I felt like with even the Bernie Mac situation, right? Bernie Mac is the preacher in this movie. He comes up, they on the porch smoking weed. He pull up, they try to hide the weed because they know he the preacher, right? So he like, he come in, he giving his spiel, and then he get to sniffing, and then he like, what he say?
he
Some
said,
little twin.
he said, he said, what we call drugs at Sutton Baptist Church,
No, he said
because
what
it's
we
city
call drugs
sin.
around here on Normandy and Weston or something.
We call it a 2020. Yeah, yeah.
Around
That's,
here, what we call drugs on Normandy and Weston, a twin. That nigga Craig said, "Wow," he said,
wow.
"God." He said, "Give me a
Give me
little
some
bit."
on my cataract.
He said, "You didn't put it in on this, man."
Man.
Like even just that back and forth, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that back and forth. Like to me, I feel like a lot of this was just like, bro, just let them go. Like just let them go. Let them do what they do. We gonna see how it works. And I think with this particular movie in general, I think that's what made Ice Cube work so well with comedians. And if you notice, a lot of his movies that he does outside of what was the one he did about the road trip with the kids and Neil Long and all that? I forgot what it was.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, are we there yet? Outside of that, and even in that he kind of let somebody do their thing, but as far as just like the comedies that he does with stand-ups, he lets them shine. Mike Epps, Kevin Hart, like if you watch how he works with them, he works very well with them because he really lets them get their shit off, and it's not this thing of okay, you gotta follow the script because you could tell like a lot of that shit, bro. It had to be freestyle, bro. It had to be.
Yeah, and then one of the movies we don't speak on, but we gotta do at some point on here. First Sunday, man.
Yep.
Him, Tracy Morgan, and Cat Williams. Yo, I'm telling you, that shit is hilarious. I'm talking about. I think First Sunday is one of those movies that I just feel like it kind of get when it comes to Ice Cube movies, it kind of gets slept on. And like one of the funny lines in there that tripped me out is it's a Jamaican dude that they were selling the wheelchairs with hubcaps on it. That mother would say tick tock gun shot. Like that shit kills me every fucking time. Every time he said that shit. And then my dude name, Tracy Morgan name is Lee John because his mom slept with a guy named Lee and a guy named John, and she don't know which one his daddy is, so she named him Lee John. Come on, man. That is that's comedic genius to do some shit like that. But then for Cat Williams to be in there, being the choir director, you know what I'm saying, with his hair and all this type shit, and then the fact that somebody is robbing a church, but then for two guys to go into a church and to go in there with the intentions of robbing the church because Craig wants to keep his son there because his girl is like, yo, if I don't get this amount of money in this amount of time, I'm leaving with my son type thing. And then it turned into a whole family affair. But anyway,
And that
before we
was him and Tracy Morgan, right?
yeah, and Cat Williams. I'm in along with some other people too, but one last thing before we go, because we got to go to next Friday, is the one scene that, like I say, when it comes to one-liners that sticks with you, like you never, it didn't become a thing until this, is when Smokey was like, yo man, he's like, man, yo, like why you at home? It's like, man, I got fired yesterday. He was like, for real? I thought you was off yesterday. He was like, I was. Went in there to pick up my check, came home. Supervisor called me around about 4 o'clock. Talking about they got me on videotape stealing boxes. Man, what the fuck you doing stealing boxes for? You trying to build a clubhouse? I know you didn't go out like that. He was like, hell nah. They ain't got me on tape. Say they did. Fired me on the spot. Talking about pressing charges. He was like, damn, you got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off. Yo, all time. Man, you hear somebody tell you they got fired on that day off? Come on, man. That's the first thing that's going to come to mind. It's fucking Friday, man. Classic.
Well, look, real quick before we move on to next Friday, right? I just wanted to note the comedians in this movie. You got Chris Tucker, right? John Witherspoon, Faison Love. Then you got hold on, Anthony AJ Johnson. You got Bernie Mac. You got Ronaldo Ray. Like, bruh. First and foremost, we can't skip over this scene. Shout out to DJ Pooh, who played a major part in the whole Friday series, right? He's basically Ice Cube's partner in this. He plays Red in the movie. So they go to talking about, Red, man, something, and he get to talking about his bike getting stolen from Debo. But the story go back from, after they leave, Smokey tell Craig about the story about them shaking dice and Debo snatching this nigga chain.
But no, Debo punched him because he actually bike ball.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, man, Debo was tripping. So he telling the story. So basically they shooting dice. You know what I'm saying? Red pull up on him. He like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I was asking for my bike back. This nigga Debo was like, what bike, punk? You know what I'm saying? He like, it's my bike. You know what I mean? It's both like basically like both our bikes. So then this nigga said this nigga get uppercutted, right? Ronaldo Ray gets out the car. He said, nigga Debo said, you want something too, old man? That nigga Ronaldo Ray said, no. He said, get your ass up. I told you about coming around here. These people. Hey, bro. That's also where the famous line, you got knocked the fuck out, come from, that scene. But
man,
I don't care what nobody say. I know everybody remember you got knocked the fuck out. That's cool. That ain't the funniest part of that scene. Ronaldo Ray getting out that car, bro. And that nigga said, you want something too, old man? That nigga said, no. Hey, bro. Hey, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
No, bro. See, for me, like I say, the small shit tripped me out. So, listen, a grown ass man working at UPS because he had a brown suit on. For a grown ass man to go up to Debo and say the first thing that came out of his mouth, "Pop's tripping." He want me to ask. He want me to ask for my bike back. You know, I wouldn't even trip. What bike? He said, the beach cruiser. The one I let you borrow a couple weeks ago. The one I've been asking you about. He was like, oh, that bike. He was like, come over here, homie. I know you wanted it back. He was like, man, it's like it's both ours, but we can just keep it down at my house.
Hey, wait a minute. When Debo pulled back up on his bike, them niggas was on the porch. Everybody hit they shit except Red. That nigga got his chain snapped. Nobody said nothing. That nigga Debo left, and he said, man, my grandmama gave me that chain. That nigga ran off all flimsy and shit. That nigga got a card. Fucker said, man, he gonna cry the guard.
Hey, I'm trying to.
You gotta give credit to DJ Pooh, bro. You gotta give credit to DJ Pooh. For him to have helped write this and help fund this and help put this together and then play that part out of all parts he could have played. Like he could have had his pick of the litter. For him to play that part, bro, to play Red is hilarious, bro. He did his motherfucking thing in this movie, bro.
It is, man. And yeah, I promise this is the last day and we're moving. But like just when he pulled up, he was about to sit down, and then he was like, nah, and he was like, man, he was like, yo, he was like, we was all tripping at work, man. He said, kind of look like your head from the back, but we can't tell though. And so then Craig is like, no, Smoker's like, yo, how's your eye? He's like, oh, it's all right. And I was like, damn, put your glasses back on. And then he was like, Debo pulled up, and so when he because like you said, Red tucked his, and so Debo saw it and snatched it. He was like, he said something to him. He was like, shut up, punk. And then, Smokey jumped up, was like, man, give him back his chain. He was like, what chain? Yeah, man, what chain? And then he sat there, and then he pulled off. That boy said, man, I got mind control over Debo. He be like, shut the fuck up. I be quiet.
You be quiet. But when he leave,
I be talking again.
Hey, bro, classic, bro.
That's classic.
Classic. So, moving forward, man. Yeah, that's right, y'all. We got some extra minutes for this one. So, moving forward, man, we go into the next week, the next Friday. So, basically, in the first Friday, everything happens. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to worry about Big Worm. Craig beat up Debo. After he found out, you know what I'm saying, that Debo was beating on Felicia, who was Debbie's sister. And he was in love with Debbie, of course. This nigga beat up Debo get locked up, so on and so forth. Find out Debo getting out. So what they do? They tell Craig, you gotta get out the house. You gotta leave for your safety. And where he moved? To Rancho Cucamonga. Hey, man, listen. They made that sound like the greatest place on earth, okay? He had to move with his Uncle Elroy and his cousin Day-Day and his Uncle Elroy's girlfriend, Sugar. And what people don't know is Uncle Elroy got his house and he paid cash for it. And that's why he was the king around there. So next Friday, man, you know what I'm saying? A classic in his own right. You know what I'm saying? Also, another list of hilarious comedians. I'm gonna go down the list real quick. Mike Epps, John Witherspoon is back at it. Don DC Curry, man, legend. And then you had Kim Whitley, who's a comedic actor. Who else is in this joint? Michael Blackson. And that's pretty much just those comedians, but just to name the cast, you got Sticky Fingers, you know what I'm saying, who played Tyrone, who was Debo's brother, which I thought was funny as hell because they both got out at the same time randomly. I thought that was hilarious.
No, they broke out. Remember? They broke out.
They broke out, yeah. You got Amy Hill, who played Miss Ho or Miss Ho Kim, Dede's and Uncle Elroy's neighbor. You also have Tamala Jones, who played quote unquote Dede's baby mama, and Clifton Powell, man. one of his most iconic roles,
Mhm.
Pinky. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You had Rolando Molina, who played Baby Joker. You had Lobo Sebastian, Lil Joker, and you had Jacob Vargas playing Joker, which I thought all the niggas named Joker is hilarious. And then you had Justin Pierce playing Roach. So this time, whole nother situation. Oh, wait a minute, because I'm forgetting. Alicia Rodriguez, who played Carla. Ay, Dios mío, Jesucristo. Mi amor. Anyway, so whole nother area, whole nother town, same situation, same bullshit. Craig can't escape it. Craig moves, lives with his uncle, and pretty much same thing that happened in the first movie. It's all within the day. Happens this time. Next Friday, bro. Where you at with this one?
This might be my favorite one. Yo,
Talk to me. Talk to me. Come on, man. Talk that.
Come on, man.
Talk that talk. Hold on. Come on, man. What we talking about?
Man, listen, this one. Now, the one thing that I love about this movie is the little shit where you hear people talking but ain't nothing going on. That shit was genius.
Mhm.
But the most iconic, I think one of the most iconic scenes, period, in a comedy was when fucking after Dede got sprayed, he in the room and Craig walked in and that whole conversation.
Yeah.
That is the most funniest fucking shit I've ever seen. That motherfucker said, man, he said, man, what's up with your girl, man? He said, man, I met Twana about 2 weekends ago, 2 Fridays ago. She had a Carl Jr. burger in her hand, and I got to wrap it. He's like, I wanted a piece of it, I got to wrap it, and that's how it happened. The worst fucking day of my life. He was like, yeah, man, I got restraining on her ass. And he's like, man, how you gonna have restraining on a man on your girl? He said, man, she like left eye or something.
He said I got a restraining on her ass. Her and
well, no, he ain't got there yet. He didn't get there yet.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So he was like, man, he said this bitch must be like left eye. He said, yeah, but this fat bitch ain't burning. He said she got a little sister named Baby D. I'm telling you, this fat bitch get physical. She sell dope, do hair, and babysit in the same house. Police don't know when to kick the door in. I got restraining on her fat ass too. He was like, man, how you gonna have restraining on a little girl named Baby D?
Baby D.
Man, you don't know Baby D. That's why you looking at me like that, because you don't know Baby D. He said, this, you know, about all the bootleg snacks before they hit the streets, the year 2000 of snacks. He's like, man, Twin got a cupcake coming out this month. It's a bad motherfucker. When you bite into it, cream filling shit in your mouth. Glitter.
Me breathing all hard, talking about Hostess got a new cupcake coming out. It shoot glitter. He said it shoot cream filling in your mouth.
Glitter.
He said, man, you tripping.
he said, hey, I'm talking about, and then he's like, he was trying to put his pants on, but he had his shorts on, and then he's like, man, I got restraining order on this. She don't care nothing about none of that shit. He's like, man, he said, y'all with the pants, man, you better get out of my business. Hey, I'm talking about that scene, and then when it ended, when he was like, he said, because I'm a player, and I don't care about none of that shit. He said, you got your shirt on backwards, player. He was like, man, players fuck up, snatch the shit off your head. Man, don't worry about what I'm doing. Why y'all didn't do nothing when the fat bitch jumped on me? He was like, oh, I'm running away.
That nigga said, man, I was out there buying them 20s. That nigga Craig looked at him like,
he was like, they 10, but I keep them clean.
Hey, man.
That's all time, but that's all time. That's comedic genius, man.
Absolutely, bro. Listen. So first and foremost, this is the first we see of Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? For the comedy world, you've seen Mike Epps, you heard about him. But as far as acting, this is the first we've seen of Mike Epps. And when I tell you he steals the show, he steals the
Yes.
show. First and foremost, Craig over there fucking around. This nigga. Oh, and I forgot about the cast. Michael Rappaport makes a cameo in this as well.
Yes, yeah. The Cucamonga Cracker Killers.
The Cucamonga Cracker Killers. So Craig, you know what I'm saying? He over there fucking around. The dog get loose. This nigga run up on Day car. Nigga fall down, getting down, get off. This nigga Day said, "Man, look at my roof. I mean my roof. Look at my roof." He said, "Man, what did you do?" So, real quick, man. Next Friday, the sequel to, you know what I'm saying, probably at this point in time, is definitely a classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how they gonna top this. They get Mike Epps. Excuse me. They get Mike Epps to come in and play the funny man in this one. How did you feel about this?
Man, this is literally the perfect pick. I think when you look at roles, one of those that like the rewatchables, they got a whole segment called the recastable.
The recast,
thing.
yep.
This is one of those roles where it's impossible.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck how funny you are.
Did it make you forget about Chris Tucker?
It didn't make me forget about him, but what it did make me do was in this world, unfortunately, what we do is we compare.
Yeah.
He topped him.
Absolutely.
He topped him because like the next one of the most funniest scenes I've ever seen. I know yours probably is the one that was right after this one, but the part right before it, to me, was the funny shit. So after, you know what I'm saying, the whole when Roach answered the phone, well, it was okay. Well, we got to mention this because this is right before it.
Right.
You motherfucker! What the fuck is this shit? I want my damn money back, and I don't have no damn receipt. So
you're not doing it right.
Yo.
You're not doing it right. Hold on. First off, Michael Blackson. This is my introduction to Michael Blackson. I've never seen him before. Yeah, and everybody knows that listen to this. I'm huge into comedy. Now, going back and realizing that he was on Def Comedy Jam, I've seen him, but I've never really paid it any attention. Right.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, as far as that goes, I've never really seen Michael Blackson. So seeing him in this, to me, new person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same person from Def Comedy Jam and everything else, doing the same thing. But at that time, and I was younger too, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really pay him no attention. Seeing him in this, it definitely lifted his star. So he comes in and he said, "Yo, man, what's up? Yo, what the hell is this?" He said, What is this? I can't get jiggy with this shit. This I expected John Blaze. He was like, "Hey man, chill." You know what I'm saying? He said, "What is this? What you done chewed on this motherfucker?"
Yo, he said, "Yo, I want my damn money back, and I don't have no damn receipt." Yo, I'm talking about hilarious.
Wait a minute, bro. He said he didn't chew on it. That shit was funny as fuck to me, bro. What type of reply is that? Like, how do you come up with that? That's what I'm saying. Like that type of shit, man. Like, that's what makes it like you said, just the little shit that make it funny. Like who says that? Like you get the CD, you look what you chew on this motherfucker. Who said that? Like who does that? It had to be Mike Epps, bro.
Hey, he said, "Do you know who you fucking with?" Motherfucker said, "Nelson Mandela." Try again, motherfucker.
He said, what he say? Winnie Mandela little cousin or some shit like that.
I think it was, but yo, hilarious. So anyway, So they in the back, right? They in the back. And so this is after the whole Baby D shit. You know what I'm saying? When she was chasing him in the back. So they sit back there. And so like Craig is like, man, he was like, man, what a bathroom, man. And so then he telling the story. He was like, man, Craig. He's like, Craig, man, he be taking long shits. He was like, man, one time he shitted in the pool. He was like, man, he said, I thought it was a chocolate payday. He said, man, I was swimming over there. He kind of hit me on the side of my shit. And so then he was like, man, he's like, look, he's like, bro, we gotta find a way to get this money by tomorrow. He was like, huh? He was like, we gotta find a way to get this money by tomorrow. He said, man, you can sell your Beamer. He said, I can do what? He said, you can sell your car. Man, sell your mama's car. Man, you selling my car for this shit? Like, man, what you mean? He said, don't even say no shit like that. Yeah,
Man,
that shit to me, that shit was so fucking fun. To this day, I do this shit. Like, if a motherfucker, if anybody say huh to me, I always do that shit. I like say a word. Yo.
The funniest part about all that, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody think that shit funny. No, the funniest part about all that is them niggas thought that using the vacuum. Them niggas thought that using the vacuum would make a difference and not blowing smoke around. Niggas don't know how vacuums work. This is when I realized this. Niggas don't know how vacuums work. First, we had a shop vac. Shop vacs don't work like that, bro. If smoke gets into a shop vac, it's coming back out of the shop vac.
Back out the damn shop vac. It's a big ass hole in the back of the shop vac.
These niggas thought they had a genius idea. Wrong.
Yo.
Man, first and foremost, this nigga Craig coming back from the bathroom, bro. And who shows up? One of the most iconic scenes in movie history, bro. This nigga.
Let me see if you do it right. Let me see if you started off right,
bro.
Because the beginning, to me, is the funniest part. The beginning.
No. You okay? So where do you count the beginning at?
The beginning is when he say, "Don't move."
Wrong.
How?
Wrong.
Okay.
The beginning is when he pulling up.
Oh, you talking about that? Okay. Okay.
Man. The beginning is when he pulling up.
Yeah.
And that nigga hit that corner. He said, "Hold on, nigga." He said, "Chill out, y'all made me spill my yak, nigga." And get out the
on
car.
The $1,000 suit. Yeah. Yeah, because he went up to the door and the door was locked. He's like, "What the fuck? Like, why my damn door is locked?" But I'm just talking. Yeah, that's funny. But it's just like
to me, that's the intro into Clifton Powell's greatness in this movie, bro. Because first and foremost, everything in that scene told you already who this character was. This is an old ass nigga. Sit up, bro. This is an old ass nigga who is stuck in a time period of wherever he is, he's stuck in that time period. You can see it in his clothes, you can see it in his hair, you can see it in his fashion. But the way that he talked to that nigga, he said, "Chill out on them turns, nigga. You almost made me spill my yak." Hey, man, I know niggas like that. So that shit made me laugh even harder, first and foremost. I grew up with niggas like that. Like, literally, my uncles and cousins is just like that. So, come in. Freeze, nigga. Who is you?
No.
Go ahead.
He said, freeze. He's like, "Don't move. I'll blow your goddamn head smooth off." Now back up.
Bro, that nigga was Cuddy all over again, bro. That nigga was Cuddy all over again, bro.
Hey, come on, man. I'll blow your goddamn head smooth off. That shit. It's all time.
Basically, so everybody already know this scene. We ain't got to get into this, right?
Yes.
Funny part though. This will make me laugh every time I watch this movie. Everything get de-escalated, right? Dead End Roach come out from the back, break everything up. Nigga Piggy said, "Did they?" He said, "Yeah." "This your cousin?" He said, "Yeah." "Good." "Nigga, you fired."
He's like, "You gonna fire me? I'm firing you too, Roach." And he was like, "He fired you too."
"Oh man, Pinky, what I do?"
He said,
"Hey,
"You shut
did
up!
it."
You keep your goddamn mouth shut."
Hey, hold on. Before all of this though, before all of this, these niggas was getting high in the store. They shut the store. They shut the store down. Got high in the store. This nigga Roach is skateboarding on the counter, bro. Why are you skateboarding on the counter, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, "What he tell
Oh
the
my
nigga
god.
Roach? Man, what he say? Man, oh no. When he introduced Craig the Roach. He said, Roach, this is my cousin Craig. Craig, this is my white slave Roach."
He was like, Craig is the one that beat up Debo.
Hey man, so between these two movies, man, you really got great cast in both of these. And like I told y'all, we can't really get too much into all these movies because we'll really be here all day.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Between these two movies, seeing the trajectory that these actors and actresses ended up in, like, how do you feel where, you know what I'm saying, like these two, and I we know it's more than two, but we just doing these two today. How do you feel these two kind of stand in like the gauntlet of Hollywood, right? Like, are they cemented in a certain place, or you know what I'm saying, like, do they really give, you know what I'm saying, like they credence to, you know what I'm saying, like people's careers? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, like that type of level of introduction, because really, like, these two introduced a lot of people to a lot of these actors and actresses. Now, granted, you got guys like John Witherspoon, who's been, you know what I'm saying, like, who was doing his own thing in the 90s. Excuse me, John Witherspoon had his own like late night TV show for a minute. Don DC Curry was a huge stand-up comedian at the time, so you don't have to add him either. Excuse me. Anna Marie Horford, you know what I'm saying? We know her from the Wayans Brothers show, so she's already kind of got her staple. I'm trying to think. Kim Whitley, she's already been in the game for a long time. Um, Nia Long, you know what I'm saying? I feel like she's one of those people who, like I said, now we talk about like the baddies of the 90s. This is
Yep.
where we get that, you know what I'm saying, like get that from. Even though she's been in movies and doing things for a long time, we give her that. Regina King, she's been in things for a long time, but to us, even though she didn't have a major role in this movie, she still kind of got that, you know what I'm saying, like everybody know her, you know what I'm saying, kind of like Craig's sister, you know what I'm saying, like if you watch Friday, you know her as Craig's sister. Tamala Jones, you know what I'm saying, um to me, this was the first time I seen Tamala Jones, who's also to me one of those, you know what I'm saying, like one of those top tier actresses. And then not only that, you get the resurgence of oh my god, what's her name? Rough and Puff with your afro, with my afro.
Lady of Rage.
Lady of Rage, man. You know what I'm saying? You get the emergence of Lady of Rage, who we haven't heard since that single, you know what I'm saying? Um how do you feel like this helps, you know what I'm saying, like, or not helps, I'm sorry. How do you feel these two are put in like the Hall of Fame of Hollywood, or the, you know what I'm saying, just like, just where would you place these two films, or just this film franchise in that, you know what I'm saying, like in that category?
I think it's My answer is going to be like very complex because I think what Friday did and also the element of surprise. Like that's what you get with the first one. And also the cast of that one goes on to do bigger things than compared to the second cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least the extra people, whatever, whatnot.
Right.
Because Faison Love, when you look at the rest of the people from next Friday, nobody got as big as he did. Neil Long, the other actors, nobody
I
got.
mean, you Mike Epps.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean the smaller roles. Like if you okay, Faison Love, I would compare that to something like Baby Joker, or at
Oh,
least
okay.
one of the Jokers.
I see what
You
you're
know what I
saying.
mean?
Oh, Marla Jones.
Well, Tamala Jones, I would see her as the Nia Long type
Mhm.
person. So I think that the first cast went on, well, the others I would say
Yeah,
went on to do bigger things or whatever.
right.
But honestly, I think next Friday is a better product. But I
Absolutely.
think the first one, like you can't have next Friday without the first one. So
Right.
that's what I mean by the answer is kind of complex because even though I feel the next Friday is a little better, but you can't have next Friday without the first one.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like the impact that it has on Hollywood. I mean, technically, you would have to say the first one had a bigger one because of what it did, but I still think the second one is a better product.
Right.
Yeah, if that
So
makes any sense.
no, it makes perfect sense. I would totally agree with you, right? And like we said, Chris Tucker without Friday, you really wouldn't get him in a lot of these roles that you're seeing him in, right? Like I don't think his career would have the trajectory it would have without a Friday. Because I
Yeah.
feel like in a Friday, what that did for him was it kind of created a space for him to really be like funny. Like
Hmm.
I'm about to say Rush Hour, not Rush Hour.
Money talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks is a movie for him to be funny, but it's only a movie to me at least. It's only a movie for him to be funny in a certain confinement because
Mm.
he's doing a movie with Charlie Sheen.
Yep.
When you put Ice Cube in that other role, it not only gives him space to work with somebody who can kind of connect with him on a different level, but it gives him the freedom to be able to say, okay, this is the type of character I'm gonna do, and I know that whoever watches this is going to be able to connect with this character, right? Because this is the type of movie we doing at the time. And I feel like with Mike Epps, it was the same thing, except for the stepping stone was there.
Hmm.
And so with Chris Tucker, because he did a movie like Money Talks, and then he went to do a movie like Next Friday, it kind of helped him to get those Rush Hour films and you know what I'm saying, like all those other films that he's done beyond that. With Mike Epps, if you notice, because of Next Friday and because of the start that he was able to do kind of the same thing, but in a different version, right? Or a different the opposite way. So you had Chris Tucker who was able to play a comedic role, but still kind of be somewhat serious. You know what I'm saying? In certain scenes.
Hmm.
And then he went on to just do a straight comedic role with Smokey. But then you had Mike Epps, who was able to do Day Day, which is a straight comedic role. And then later on, you seen him doing like more serious roles.
Okay.
And so I think that the for both of them to end up being stand-up comedians, to start off as stand-up comedians, and then to end up eventually doing these acting roles, and then to turn that into what they've, you know what I'm saying, like done with their careers. and a lot of it is thanks to Ice Cube. You see two people from the same situation, but they took different approaches. Because, like I said, Chris Tucker took the more serious role first. Mike Epps took the more serious role later on down the line once he was afforded to because of this opportunity. But then you got to look at situations like what Ice Cube has done, right? Taking a cast which is mainly comedians and making a movie or a product which is undeniable. Not only doing it one time, but doing it 3 times. Well, at this point that we talking about doing it twice. So, and then not even taking the same cast at that, creating a sequel with a whole new cast that ends up being better, to me at least, and like you said, you think so too, but it ends up being better than the first one. Like Friday is great, don't get me wrong. Friday is a classic, but next Friday takes it to that, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets it like whatever level it needed to be at, next Friday got it there. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yep.
Because you have Mike Epps, who was a fresh face. You didn't know what you know what I'm saying? Like you didn't know what to think of him. You really didn't know, you know what I'm saying, like really who he was. Like I said, unless you watch a lot of stand-up comedy and stuff like that. But for him to be able to come in for his first role and play this role like it was, to me, I felt like he was just a normal average dude. You know what I'm saying? This would be like anybody's first role coming in and killing it. But in this aspect, he has to kill it because of the success of the first one.
Yeah.
Because without the success of the first one, we don't get here, right?
Yep.
And I think, to me, this is why next Friday is a better, like you said, a better product. Because that stepping stone helped them. We already know what happened in the first Friday movie. So now you build on that, you bring in a totally new cast, you keep some characters from the old cast, right? But a new cast like Don DC Curry, Kim Whitley, you know what I'm saying? The people who played the Jokers, the sister, you bring all of them in and you make this even funnier. That's hard to do.
Yep.
That's really hard to do. It's not a lot of people who can take a movie, get the success that it had, and then create an even better movie beyond that. Because a lot of times we already know how it is in Hollywood. Like a lot of people say, the sequel is never better than the, you know what I'm saying, the actual beginning, you know what I'm saying, the actual first movie. You know what I'm saying? Or what they say, the sequel sucks. You know what I'm saying? Usually the sequel sucks. So for them to be able to come in and make a sequel that was not only as funny as the first one, but probably even funnier. Because I think, to me, when you go down the list of these 3 movies, when we talk about it at the end, like when we look back at it, I think that next Friday is definitely the best one out of all of them. Because it gives you so much more than the first one was able to give you, because it's the same recipe. It's only it's only 2 or 3 locations. It's the house, the house that they live in. It's the Joker's house, and then it's Pinky store.
Well, Mr. Jones' way getting there, he had to stop at the
But I
at this
mean,
one, you know.
so I don't really count that, only
I see what you're
because
saying. I see what you're saying.
to me I felt like that was the transition,
Yeah.
right? Like, so in the beginning, you start off in the original neighborhood, where Debo and his brother get into the truck. That's the transition into, you know what I'm saying, the new beginning. But every time they bring up Willie Jones is usually in the transition until he actually gets there to talk to Elroy and, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff, and check on Craig and all that. So for me, it was always that I looked at that like the transition, not so much so the like an actual location.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, he was on the highway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it really ain't no need for no fire flames. I ain't gonna
No.
lie to you, man.
No,
Five
it ain't.
across the board.
Yep.
5 across the board, without question. These are two classic comedies. So much so, like you said, that they even used stuff from both of these movies in other movies because it worked so well and it was so funny. And plus, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't feel like it's a lot of It's a lot of movies that use this recipe, but it's not a lot of movies that can match up with this. And I'm talking about across the board. I'm talking about every genre. It's not a lot of movies that can match up with this movie. Either one of them.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Especially the second one. So yeah. So we skip Fire Flames. Let's go ahead and get into the coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right. So this next episode that we're gonna do, I'm kind of disappointed that this didn't come out earlier, right? I think this would have been a great addition to the Fright Fest. You know what I'm saying? To our horror fest that we usually do. But if you play video games, if you are into any kind of gaming or whatever, as far as mobile, PC, console, whatever, you've played a game called Five Nights at Freddy's. And not only have you played a game called Five Nights at Freddy's, you've also been aware of the lore, so on and so forth, of Five Nights at Freddy's. And recently, Peacock has come out with a movie, pretty much surrounding, you know what I'm saying, this whole phenomenon. That's what I'll call it. I call it a phenomenon. Now, you said that you don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Nope. I just watched the movie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Neither do I. Don't know shit about it.
Bet.
Whole time watching this, my son was telling me all kind of little stuff about it. He was telling me about each
same
movie.
thing.
Cool. So bear with us on this next episode. I don't really know how this is gonna play out. However, we've seen it. You know what I'm saying, we gotta rewatch it, of course, but it ain't gonna be a lot of detail in this joint. You know what I'm saying? It's really gonna be a big breakdown. But I know enough to know that a lot of people fuck with this Five Nights at Freddy's franchise thing. So that's the next episode. You guys tune in, you guys get ready. That's what we got for you. If you like this episode, if you didn't like this episode, if you too think that Ronaldo Ray should have never got out that car, or that, you know what I'm saying, that Sugar should have got caught earlier for laying her head in his nephew's lap, hit us up on socials. let us know, and let's talk about it. Instagram and X at ViewAnon You can hit us up on Facebook, VA Pod Watch Group, or you can join our community on X, Viewers Anonymous, where we talk about movies and television all day. Also, if you are following this podcast and you want just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, you think that we got more to offer, you are correct. We do. You can subscribe to the podcast. The link is in the description. That way you can click that link while you're listening to this right now. Subscribe. It's only $2.99 a month. And you can get extra episodes on top of the episodes you already get. So if you are enjoying Viewers Anonymous, you will enjoy it even more because we have episodes that you may or may have not heard already. And if you would like to follow me personally, you can hit me up on X at Scoots Bronson. Let me know that you are from Viewers Anonymous. I will make sure I follow you back. Not only that, I will definitely shout you out and get you amongst the community so others can follow you as well. And I have a link to in my bio. You can find me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. Last episode is still 137, if I'm not mistaken. Still history of horror part 2. Check that out on all major platforms.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your support is greatly appreciated. Without you, there could be no us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Good.